So I have to patent a few phrases that are I've designed. Uh, yeah, it's like I can get somewhere, and you would know what I mean if you know that. I came up with this way to like a lens, but everyone can't be afforded the lens if I didn't make a designer statement, like a phrase or something, so you wouldn't know what I was talking about. Because people don't normally jargon like this. Like they're not gonna. Okay, so basically, there's like where you can say it's funniness afoot, but it's not weird. Because over time, everything deteriorates. So that's why they have to say, stop. Oh, what's it called? Actually, you guys, you gotta stop saying snitches and ditches and whatever, because even criminal organizations get to a point where they capitulate to make a programming rule that you are not to be upset or take out discretions with against anyone who snitched. That is well, it depends where you are on the map. Like in Alaska, where the gangsters from Los Angeles migrated toward, where they have different rules about firearms and stuff like that. They don't retaliate against snitches, and they don't take up discretionary or discrepancies with. They don't take up That's the right word. They don't have they might as well just say they agree with the person testifying against them. And the reason why is because shit, somebody's walking around all along. Hold on a second. I got thin walls. And some civilizations where you could say it's culture and civilization when two people get married, the man of the house goes to live with the sister's family, and they like, so it's like a tickle my fancy kind of thing. You're excluded if you don't have so many heads of cattle, and you're excluded if you don't have so many silos of yam, and you can't afford the marriage and the dowry, and so you don't get to move in with your wife's family. Like, what kind of rewarding system is that? And it's weird. But okay. It depends where you are on the map. It depends where you are on this map, on this globe, because everywhere is different pockets of consciousness that you can bend certain rules. They let you get away with, Like, it's the same rules everywhere on the planet, but some places you get to bend them, Or maybe they don't even make sense anymore. Like, maybe it's like you won't, at some point in time, know what's up and what's down, even in an advanced technological society under a totalitarian technocratic in a temerical totalitarian technocracies. Like no one is like outside of the rule of law, so somebody is running everything, but it's never who anybody ever think it is. That's why LA gangsters up in Alaska have capitulated and changed their politics and their programming so that it is not weird that if somebody that Juneau, Alaska snitched, that they can come back to the hood and still live in the same neighborhood, you know? Yeah, because a lot of times with this hyperbolic cortisol spike that you call a civilization, a society, if you talk about anything, that means that you're for them people over there. You must be with those other people over there. Because that's as far as anybody want to go. Think, you know what I mean? As far as to try to have like, as when they talk about what's sentient and what you can sacrifice, like it's like you can't fucking recognize a sentient without wondering, sizing them up. Like, well, you can go without this or that. You know what I mean? Almost like you're civilized if you forfeit your assets, your civil asset forfeiture. If you don't believe it, I'm gonna ruin your life. I'm gonna ruin your career because you have a problem with civil asset forfeiture. Of course, I'm not gonna have a problem with someone who's civil if they forfeited their assets because their state that they lived in, their nation, was in a crisis or a quarrel that you could come through in a pinch. It would be an honor. It would be a fucking honor to forfeit. So don't have to fucking use suggestive psychology. Just like telling me, oh, you must be a disturbed person if you see this. You have to be like a really disturbed person. You know what I mean? Well, I'm only disturbed now for the moment while I'm thinking about this, but in about 5 seconds, I'm going to be like cool as a cucumber when you think you're being murdered. You're going to be like, oh, because I don't even give a fuck. I'm in a sandwich. You want to stick on this so you can open up meta conversations and I, this, that, and you, this. And I'm not interested, or that's not impressive if I'm talking about you or I all the goddamn time. Nobody want to listen. You can't understand, but you can lock in somebody into the conversation that is about a conversation, about another conversation. I don't know who y'all is, but y'all need to quit it. Because I don't know who runs everything, but I know everybody doesn't know who it is, because their guess is going to be somebody like a Jesuit or Mossad or the Templars or some, even the mainstream legacy press, or, because they have a lot of command over societal, but they don't actually, the reason why we do what we do, but they are the ones that are trying to employ the, kind of like a suggestive psychology. I want to tell you what you think, basically. And they got the little NLP and the little dialectics from Stanford, and they feel entitled, and they think it's their time, and they think that they'll be confused if you didn't understand where the fuck they're coming from. They'll be like, you have a problem. You know what I mean? So then if that's how you feel, then why aren't you over in Ukraine? You know what I mean? You want to control the purse strings and everything, but at some point in time, if it was your fucking idea, then who better? You know what I mean? It's just like the saying that we don't live on 5% of the property of the planet, and we have this crisis because we'll never understand better land management when we occupy 5% of the land. There's not enough or something, so you have to start coming up with solutions. You gotta start just talking about solutions and sanitary workers, because at some point in time it's a crisis where if you're not mindful or something, you can be responsible for death, and it can lay death at your feet, even if that is faulty methodology going in the first place. Taking advantage of a little bit of knowledge is dangerous in the wrong hands. So you get scammed and shaken upside down. You get shook down and robbed, and you join a coercion prison gang that just because you're on the outs, you don't know that you're in a prison gang, and you go around doing medical tyranny, telling people, "Where's your mask?" and all this. It's just so easy for it to happen to you. You put it on, and you slap one on on an infant. You slapped one on an asthmatic child and told him to quarantine himself in a separate room, so they were alienated. It just make it easier for you to alienate people with it. Use dialectics because they knew you were looking for some redeemable, moral, fortitudinal characteristic, and they didn't want you to find compassion, so they gave you mindfulness. They just gave you a dialectic. And there's still people arguing that the masks help and everything, and I understand where they're coming from because you think about it, like germs, if you cough and this and that, and you compile all your stats and all your info data and everything. But what about you're just going to exclude something else, like incubation period, and how different people have different methodologies about how long their mask is effective, and how long they should keep it out, or how long they can recycle it, and then a transmissibility versus communicability. Like you don't even have an epistemology into transmissibility. You just stop at communicability, and you just say radiation. So because of radiation is how the virus is able to transmit, and we can narrow down it to, whether that's heat, light, or the chemical compound radium, or something like what basically what I know it is proteins, a chain of proteins. And if some people have a little bit of knowledge, then they maybe not understand that a chain of proteins still maybe not have a cell mass. And without a cell mass, it can't come up with the energy it needs to reproduce. So it tries to replicate itself on by putting a program, like it's a cell, like a little mini nuclear plant, or like a little miniature nuclear. Like each cell in your body has a fucking power plant, and off to the side there's like little, like they have like different things like chromosomes and I don't know, whatever starts with R something, but there's like little like spent nuclear fuel rods, and there's a pool over here, and and some shit to be like tied up with cord. You know what I mean? And it's sitting over there in the side. It's like it's not there's the nuclei, and then there's all this shit, but it's like basically like a little power station. And so it can come up with the power because it has a cell mass to replicate. And the virus takes advantage of that, and that's called transmissibility because the cell mass had to be rebooted. I don't care what anybody's fucking talking about, and I'm not going to go back and forth with you. It is understandable to think that the cell didn't go to sleep because maybe the cell considered another cell mass, but it's not a cell mass, it's a virus. That's how it was invited in, because otherwise it would not be allowed. So it wouldn't be invited in, it would not be accepted as one of its own who was dying. Like when a star has iron in its core, or it's about to go supernova or something like this. Like sometimes basically stars communicate energies to people that represent stuff in our calligraphy and our alphabet, and angles and marriage with numerology that come up with characters. Holy fuck, you can use those characters to spell. I'm not going to be able to touch up on everything, obviously, because even our science is just a methodology to approach interpretation of something, to make sense out of something that without a modicum of control that you can exert over unique iterations, you would not be able to observe the trend, and you would not be able to discover. Okay, so what the fuck am I talking about in this video? Obviously I'm not satisfied with the, like, people think it's a formula on a t-shirt, and dancing around like Metamucil, and you're glad that your ass isn't exploding. So they came up with TikTok. Remember when they were saying TikTok? That's because they were saying that sooner or later Trump was gonna, I don't know, be dragged out of Mar-a-Lago, shitting his pants and screaming and kicking, saying why, and everything like that. And they promised and everything. They would, of course, they're going to be able to go out and find the worst characteristics in a person in an event where, it's trauma or something. Somebody died. And they pick him out. He's your token. Elian Gonzalez went to freaking. That's who. Damn it. What's his name is? They made his face bigger than Uncle Ben. The pornographer, freaking drug dealing, counterfeiting dude that they said that everybody had. Like they picked one out. They just picking him out of a barrel. It's like they have plenty of fucking naked stock footage and all kind of shit. They don't have to pay any attention. They don't gotta care about what is actually important. They've overlooked that shit like Timothy McVeigh. Oh, fuck out of here. Everything is this all bullshit. Just like Jay-Z's right. Everything is bullshit.